you press the next slide?
Uh-oh.
So again, facts in a research paper are especially important because they support your argument. So kind of the steps for going through your argumentative research paper, you're going to establish your facts that support what you believe. Then you're going to clarify your relevant values for your audience. An argumentative research, it has your opinion in it. You're arguing your beliefs, so you have to insert your perspective. Then you prioritize, edit, and or sequence the facts and values in order of importance to build your argument. You form or state your conclusions. Then this is where you do your work. You persuade your audience that your conclusions are based upon the agreed upon facts and shared values. So it's important that you really hit home with those facts so that your audience understands why your opinion can be supported. Then you have the confidence to communicate your persuasion in writing. So this is, you're not wishy-washy about your belief, you're firm in your belief, this is what you believe, and the facts support why you believe that. Okay? All right? So that is the PowerPoint. Now we are going to do some practice on our own. So I just passed out an article for you guys titled School Start Time and Sleep. So who believes that high school starts too early for students? Starts at 7:39? Yeah, that's pretty early. My high school started at 7:15. Yeah, it wasn't fair. So we're going to read an article about school start times and sleep and how it affects high school students. Can I have a volunteer to start reading?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
If you could read up to on April 2nd, 1999.
Those first two paragraphs?
Yeah.
Alright, school start time and sleep. Research tells us that later sleep and wake patterns among adolescents are biologically determined. The natural tendency for teenagers is to stay up late at night and wake up later in the morning. This research indicates that school bells that ring as early as 7 in the morning in many parts of the country stand in stark contrast with adolescents' sleep patterns and needs. Evidence suggests that teenagers are indeed seriously sleep deprived. A recent poll conducted by the National Sleep Foundation found that 60% of children under the age of 18 complained of being tired during the day, according to their parents, and 15% according to the parents. And 15% said they fell asleep at school during the year.
On April 2nd of 1999, Representative Zoe Lofgren introduced a congressional resolution to encourage schools and school districts to reconsider early morning start times to be more in sync with teens' biological makeup. House Congressional Resolution 135, or the Z's to A's Act, would encourage individual schools and school districts all over the country to move school start times to no earlier than 8:30 a.m. I hope this is a wake-up call to school districts and parents all over the country, said Lofgren. With early school start times, some before 7 a.m., adolescents are not getting enough sleep. Could I have another volunteer? Okay, I'm just going to call on people then. Would you read for me?
Overtime sleep deprivation leads to serious consequences for academic achievement, social behavior, and the health and safety of our nation's youth. The Congresswoman added, "We must encourage schools to push back their start times to at least 8:30 a.m. A schedule more in tune with adolescents' biological sleep and wake patterns, and more closely resembling the adult workday."
Keep bringing it to them. Cool data.
Lofgren's work has continued. In 2014, the National Sleep Foundation worked in the U.S. Representative Zoe Lofgren to introduce legislation that addresses the relationship between school start times and adolescent health, well-being, and performance.
In fact, public opinion seems to side with Lofgren's Z's to A's resolution. According to the National Sleep Foundation 2002 Sleep in America poll, 80% of respondents said high school should start no earlier than 8 a.m. each day. Nearly one-half of these respondents, 47%, said start time should be between 8 and 8:30 a.m. Only 17% of those polls said high school classes should begin before 8 a.m. So that's over 80%. That's a huge number. Would you mind reading?
A University of Minnesota study demonstrates the impact of pushing back schools. After many
You keep reading.
Even with compelling research, changing school start times can be challenging for school districts. Administrators have to delay this coaches worry about scheduling practices, and many parents rely on current start times for reasons such as child care or classes.
Students are concerned that being in school later in the day means that it will cut into their after-school jobs and other extracurricular activities. Still, there are convincing reasons to push back school start times. There are several advantages for teens to get the sleep they need. Examples include less likelihood for experiencing depressed moods, reduced likelihood for tardiness, reduced absenteeism, better grades, reduced risk of drowsy driving, and reduced risk of metabolic and nutritional deficits associated with insufficient sleep, including obesity. With the resumption of school classes in the fall, start times are likely to remain a hot topic. Thus far, individual schools or districts in 19 states have pushed back their start times. And more than 100 school districts in an additional 17 states are considering delaying their start times. So based on this argument, does this support any further beliefs that schools should start later for high school students?
We don't make enough for 3 years. There's other people younger than us will be fine. Like, if they change this after we graduate, I'm gonna be pissed and I'm suing the government.
Okay, so we have some passionate convictions, and that's great when you're writing an argumentative research paper because you need to insert that passion into your paper to make your argument convincing and compelling. So I just passed out our note-taking worksheet, and the front includes some directions that are helpful when taking your notes. So there's one column labeled for your sources. So this is where you just copy your ideas. This is where you take directly from your article or research and insert it into this column. This is information that you would cite. The second column is your idea or inferences. So that's what you're making conclusions about the facts. So let's do an example from this article.
Wait, are we doing it on the box that has writing in it or the one book?
Keep the blank one, because I have another article for you guys where you'll be doing a writing assignment. You're not writing anything yet. Yeah, we're just doing one together for this. Here. Where's a fiber rep? Okay, so I am going to pull an example from this article. So there's a pretty compelling fact in the second paragraph. 60% of children under 18 complain about being tired. And 15%. Yeah. Fell asleep during day. Okay. And while 15% doesn't seem like a large number, that's a pretty good chunk of students that are sleeping during class. We have 2 right now. So what can we infer based upon this fact? Yes. Students are not getting sufficient sleep at night.
I wasn't talking about her. I was saying if 15% of the students fall asleep, then we need to do something about it. Like, maybe the teachers need to quit just standing there preaching the whole hour.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do for this blank worksheet. I have another article that I'm going to pass out. It's on the same topic, sleep deprivation and how it affects teens' health. And then from there, you're going to take your own notes from this source. pick out the facts that you believe are most compelling for your argument, which is arguing that schools should start later in the day in order to improve high school students' health. You're just writing one paragraph, so you don't need to use all of the facts.
You want these?
No, you can keep those. So taking ideas from this article, finding the facts, and then making your own inferences based on those facts will help you to create a well-developed argumentative research paper paragraph.
So we just read this by itself?
Yes.
And then, where do we write that paragraph?
After you're done reading, you can take out your computer and write your paragraph in Google Docs or Word, and then there is an assignment on Canvas that details what I need you to do. No, this is 3 pages. It's not a long article. It's 3 pages. It's not a long article.
What? What are we doing with it?
You can do it. Yes, you're reading the article and then you're using that to take your notes.
Pretend we're writing a paragraph.
But it's not on the computer, yes. So use this note-taking guide to really get your ideas and opinions down. Then you're writing a paragraph that synthesizes the notes from your source and your inferences into one clear and concise paragraph. So pick one fact, focus on health of teens and why sleep deprivation and early school start times is affecting students' health. Include facts from the article that support that and create a clear paragraph. What are you overwhelmed by?
Man. That's so light.
If you have any questions, please let me know. And everybody should be silently reading right now.
How much is this worth?
How much do you want it to be?
We can make it like 150.
Oh, no, I would do it the other way.
How many points?
100? No.
What's your definition of a paragraph? 5 to 7?
It's 1,000 words, so 100
I think it's too.
Okay, well, she's going to be grading these.
5 to 7 sentences.
I say 40 points.
Whoa, why so high on the points?
Because I am struggling with this sheet in here. I need to get this up to a B.
What'd he say?
Oh, I got a 59 in this book.
These should be some easy points for you guys to get if you follow directions and work quietly.
Keywords in there.
Yeah.
For sure. The reading is just so hard.
Why don't you just read it to us and be a real team
Cause
player?
you read
You read
really
super
fast.
fluent and just super good.